Good morning, good afternoon. So for today, we're going to be looking at completing a chart assignment that looks something like this, right? It's going to be in your Friday folder, but kind of to get ready for it, we're going to be looking at the population change in Brazil. So let me just read through this. This is page 28, problem number 1. Brazil is the largest country in South America. Its population in the year 2005 was about 186 million. Census statisticians in Brazil can estimate change in that country's population from one year to the next using small surveys and these facts. Based on recent trends, births every year equal about 1.7% of the total population of the country. However, deaths every year equal about 0.6% of the total population. So yesterday we talked about how when you have a percent, right, change, when you go to do the math, you need to convert that percent into its decimal form. So 1.7%, 1.7%, when you convert that to a decimal, the trick is you move 2 places to the left. 1, and I don't know why that didn't change color. 1, 2. So the decimal was here, and now it moves here. Now notice that there's nothing here, so we have to fill in a placeholder. So our decimal value we're going to use in our math equation will be 0.017. Okay? And then we have to do the same thing with this death rate for 6%. Okay? So let's take this death rate, 0.6%. So let's write it over here. 0.6%. Okay? Same trick. We take the decimal and move it 2 places to the left, and our new decimal spot would be here. So we put a 0 in for our placeholder value, and it's 0.006. That's what we would use. So let's take a look at our question. How much of the, let's change our color too. Let's be nice. Let's change it to like this, blue. How much of the estimated change in Brazil's population from 2005 to 2006 was due to births? So right away we know for our birth rate, we're going to be using this right up here, this 0.07. So the math equation for the births, let's put this A, would be 186. And you know what actually I'm going to do? I'm going to scroll this down. I'm going to erase this. And I'm going to say 186 times 0.017. Okay? And we're going to get a number answer for that. So you can always use a calculator to do that type of math, or we could just go to Google Calculator and let's just type that in. So we had what? 186 times 0.017, and what number do we get? 3.162. 3.162. Okay? So that would be equal to 3.162. Okay? So that means in 2005, it's actually going to increase by 3.162. So 3, let's see, this is in million, so 3.162 million. All right, let's take a look at B. So B, so this is 3.162 million babies. Now B is the death rate. So this is where we're going to use this other decimal number because our death every year is 0.6%. So our math equation here that we would use would be 186 times 0.006. Okay? Which is equal to, well, let's do the math. So let's go back to our calculator and let's do it. 186 multiplied by 0.006. Okay? 1.116. Okay? 1.116. So let's go back here, and that's our answer. So for C, 1.116. Okay? So this is a decline. So let's go ahead and let's just kind of mark this the right way. I'm going to put like a negative on here because when I put a negative, I know, I'm really trying to make this red. Okay, I know that it's going down, right? okay? And these are like positives, right? Because it's increasing. When the birth rate goes up, the population goes up. When the death rate, that's a decline. So both cases combined, we could subtract these two. We could say, well, this is going to be 3.162, right? Right? Minus 1.116, right? And that's going to tell us what the change is, how much it goes up or down. So 3.162 minus 1.116. So let's go back to our calculator. 3.162, subtract 1. Oh, man. What happened? Subtract 1. What happened? I can't read on here. 1.116. There we go. And we get 2.046. So that's going to give us 2.046. Okay? Now you might figure out, and you might remember from your days of doing algebra, right? How do I, hold on. That when you have this equation and this equation, the 186 is the same. So this is, you can actually take the percents and subtract them, right? So you can actually say, well, this is the same as doing 186 Sorry about that. We had to stop for morning announcements. Okay, so 186. So we could actually do this 0.017 and then take away the 0.006. Okay? All right, that's what we could do. And this would be the same as 186. And if you're like, man, I don't remember this math, I don't remember this algebra, it's okay because it's all going to come back to you because trust me, we're going to be doing a lot of it this year. So 0.017 minus 0.6, I think that's like that's like 17 minus 6, so 0.011. Okay? And I believe, let's check it out, let's do our math. We should get the same thing we get here if that's what we do, okay? Because that's the way math works. Algebra is just a shortcut. So let's clear this out. And we had what? 186 times 0.011. And we get what? 2.046. Boom, we got the same answer. Boom, we got the same answer. So this is just like a shortcut way to do it. And that kind of makes sense because if the birth rate is going up by 1.7%, okay, and the death rate makes the population go down by 0.6%, it does kind of make sense that you would just subtract these two, right? You would subtract 1.7, take away 0.6 to get that 1.1% or that 0.011%, okay? Right? So when you subtract them, let me just show you the math because I really want to show you the math. All right? When you subtract them, you get 1.7% minus 0.6% is going to be equal to 1.1%, right? Think about that, right? Or 0.011, okay? Same thing we got there. All right, now that we're ready with that, give me 1 second. Let me close the door. All right, so let's take a look at our task for today. So our task for today is that we are going to be filling out, not that, where is it? Or this table right in here, okay? And in a perfect world, I'd be able to resize this. Perfect. Let's resize it, okay? And let's move it, right? So this is going to be your task for today. You're going to have this sheet. You're going to be uploading it into Cami, right? And we discovered that the formula we used here, we just did, I'm just going to type it over here. We did 186 times 1.7 minus 186 times, ooh, that is not right. All right, 0.017 minus 186 times 0.006, okay, which was equal to this, 186 times 0.011, which we got was 2.046, right? That's the math we did, and that's basically what we're going to do. So we'd fill in right here that the change in the population would be 2.046, like that, okay? And that means that we would add 2.046 to this 186. So our new value here, we would do 186 plus 2.046, right? So that's going to be, I bet we could type this in like real little so you guys have it. 186 plus 2.046, just so you know where all the math comes from. And when you have that, let's move this just a little bit. Let's put it there, okay? You just add it up, so we would get what? That's 188, okay, 0.046, okay? Now the good news is that once we do that once, the birth rate and the death rate, we're going to assume it stays the same. So the math equation we would do would still be the same. The only difference is, instead of here where we use this 186, right? Instead of where we use this 186, and it was 186 here, instead we're going to use this 188.046, okay? So it's going to look a little bit like more intense to write it. And I'm actually just going to use our shortcut way because, you know, why not? Why not take the shortcuts, right? Okay, that's what algebra is. It's just a way of abbreviating things and making things shorter, okay? So we're just going to use this one way right in here. So let's go to this. So we would say our text, let's do this. So we do 188.046, and I'm going a little paranoid. It is 46. I'm thinking it's not 46, okay? And let's do this. Edit text. Okay, times 0.011. Okay, and that's going to be our change, right? So 186.046 times 1,011. So let's see, 186. So clear this out. 188.046. Did I just say 186.011? I said the wrong thing. 2.069. Let's say 2.069. Let's round that up to 9, okay? And that's going to be equal to edit text. 2.069, okay? So let's do that. So that means that right in here, our change would be 2.069. Okay, so we're just going to add that on. So we would add 188, right? 188.046 plus 2.069. So let's do it. So 188.046 plus 2.069. And this is just the way it is, right? You might be thinking, ugh, there's decimals, it's ugly, you know, but this is just the way math is sometimes, right? When we count real things in the real world, sometimes it's ugly numbers. It just is what it is. So 188.046, clear. 188.046 plus 2.069 plus 2.069. Okay, 190, 115. All right, so that would be what we fill in here, 190.115. And you can see, I'm just going to kind of start this for you, but you can see what you would do here. You would have 190.115 multiplied by 0.011, and that's what you put in your calculator, and you would get your answer there. Okay, all right, so we have 3 data values in here, boom, 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 and we're going to work next on plotting them. Okay, so our last task is going to be to make a plot of the year and the total population. So let's just take a look at our first data points, and I'm going to do them together. So our first year is 2005, and our first data point would be at 186. So we go down to where we have 2005, and we put a dot at 186, and that's our first data point. Notice how I've set up my graph. I should have paused there, but the years are along this axis, so pause and set your graph up, and your population is along the vertical axis, so pause and set your graph up before moving on. Don't just put points on the paper. Our next data point is at year 2006, and we have 188, so that's our next point. 2006, we go up to about 188. All right, and our next data point, 2007, about at 190. So let's go 2007, about 190, like this. Okay, just a little bit above it. Those are our first three data points, and your task is to complete this table of values using this format of the equation. You do this number multiplied by this. Good luck!